How are you doing? Are you alright?
Can we zoom? Unaona tu up their nose.
Kakevo. What up? What's up, party people? How you doing?
How you doing?
Hope you're keeping well. Hope you've been good.
Yep.
Hope the quarantine and self-isolation is taking you well.
And sanitization.
And you're sanitizing. Kama kawa, kama dawa. We just want to say pole to the people who are infected. For the ones who have lost their loved ones, poleni sana. Please do, purchase your sanitizer. Sanitize. This thing is real. This thing is not a joke. It's really taking a toll on a lot of people, as we can see on this in the statistics. In regards to the global statistics, yeah.
Right.
But for us right now here at Bawa, we always say, "What's up?" is
What's up?
And my name is George Kagwe.
My name is Kenji Keremi.
And today we are focusing on you SMEs, startups, small businesses, side hustles, middle-sized businesses.
Right.
This one, biashara ni biashara. This one is for you right now. We are here to empower you digitally on what is happening around this COVID-19 crisis and pandemic that has come. So, seriously speaking, this COVID-19 has really come and disrupted us. It caught majority of us off guard. It brought a lot of questions and to which some of us don't have answers to yet, because you're out of office, you're working from home remotely, as they say, from home. You are trying to collaborate with teams, you're trying to sell your product and your service through the digital platforms available. And right now in Kenya, just yesterday, a curfew was imposed and it is now in effect. Like right now it is 4 o'clock. We only have 3 hours to be able to get to our destinations before we are you have seen them. Let's not talk about them. It's not a government and political kind of a vlog. Anyway, so we have seen a lot of disruptions happening. Now we have even curfews, and so therefore no business can really happen between 7 and 5 a.m. unless you're in the specific industries, if it's hospitals, pharmaceuticals, security, kind of businesses. And so for right now, what we want to be able to do is highlight, in this series of SMEs, we want to highlight and bring forth conversations that will help us come up with solutions for each other. This is a time for us to be able to help each other, because we are also in the SME sector. Right now, we are in our office, but only to shoot this. Guys are not working from here,
and
but
we're sanitizing and we're watching our space.
We're watching space. This guy coughs. Hey, tell the guy, bro, we go home. But on a serious note, we're still paying rent for this space. Which is the same thing for you as a business, You still have expenses, you still have overheads to meet, you still have your targets that you set in January. And truth be told, those targets have to now kind of change, because life has changed. And as we start off this conversation, I just want to say, from my own opinion, life has changed and will forever be this way. Like, life is not going to be the same again. The things that we are seeing right now happening, we're seeing that people are starting to realize that we can do things differently, that we can innovate and do things differently. That there's a biashara somewhere, a guy sitting down and is like, kumbe guys can work from home, kumbe we don't really have to have an office, kumbe products can be sold online as well, I can deliver my service online. We're seeing a lot of people collaborating, and this is through now apps like Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts, and many other for people to be able to strategize, collaborate, and be able to continue making the work happen. And so as we start this off, it's just to say, guys, this is how life will be in regards to using the digital platforms from now henceforth.
Absolutely. And so this is just not to evoke any form of fear. This is just a call for us to wear different hats. Now we have to wear the innovator's hat. We have to look at opportunity where there's disaster or crisis, for that matter. And right now, I tell you, we are privileged. Just to give an analogy, when a hurricane goes through a particular city, it actually flattens it and devastates the whole town. But what comes out after is beautiful. You start to see trees sprouting, fruits sprouting, and it's the same thing. Like, if you look at even cities like we were looking at Estonia, it was a war-torn country. It's next to USSR, which is present day Russia, and those guys have really gone through a lot of atrocity. But now it's such a beautiful country where they're actually one of the most advanced or technologically advanced cities.
It's the most digitized it's the most digitized country in the whole world.
Absolutely. We also look at our good friends here down, Rwanda, what happened to them. And now look what President Kagame has been able to achieve in such a short span. So,
take a sip of water.
It's such a short span. So, what I'm trying to say is that there is great opportunity in this particular period. Now, I want to switch to, let's not be reactive. Let's be proactive. So you guys, we need to form sustainable models for our businesses. Look, employees, what are we doing different? Right now, we have been empowered with different tools. We have collaborative tools that help with project management, e.g. Asana, Rike, Slack, name it. How do we use those tools to make sure that we deliver on projects, meet our timelines, and also meet the customer or the client goal? So those are things we have to look at. It's now the new normal, man. It's the new normal.
Yep.
Can we embrace it? I know we're tired of Zoom calls. Personally, yeah, it's the bandwidth has been stretched out, so we're even moving to hangouts because we can't be meeting in physical spaces like this. But now let's just talk a little about what an employer can do in this particular period. So one, we have to renegotiate our contracts with our employees. Right now, we don't have the luxury to be given full-time employment. We've moved to the gig economy. And for those who understand what a gig economy is right now you're paid for your output. Whatever you produce, you get an income for. So you don't have to wait till the end of the month to receive a salary. You can also, as an employee, stretch your talents through different employers. And now that's the mindset employers need to have. We don't also have the luxury of keeping a bunch of employees just to say that we've employed guys. You know, now we have an office of 15 staff. Nah, it's not gonna work for you, man. The most important thing is the output on your job. So stop looking at the labor force as a way of, let me say, a pride, or you can earn your stripes from. Let's be pragmatic with how we recruit and how we have our contracts. And also, let's talk a little about what employees can do. Teammates, man, this is the time. Upskill yourself. This is not the time, man, for Netflix and chill and just be on that couch and laze all day. This is your opportunity to learn a new skill. In fact, the skills that will matter will be your communication skills, man. You can be the best creative, the best lawyer, but if you do not know how to effectively drive value through digital communication tools, then that means you'll not be able to meet, let me say, industry benchmark scores, and you could be easily redundant in your field. So please, let's upskill ourselves in terms, especially communication and digital empowerment. And also, George, let's talk about also careers that are, let me say, emerging, and those that are going obsolete, because clearly there's a shift.
I think there are three categories of careers that we really need to look at this point in time. So guys, what we're looking at as in terms of SMEs, we're looking inward before we can look outward. So introspective before we are. So what we're doing right now is just looking inward. So first of all, looking at careers, right? I think there's three categories of careers. There's a budding career,
right?
There's the blossoming career, and then there'll be the
booming.
No, not the booming, the one that's now obsolete.
Oh, obsolete.
Blossoming is like booming.
Okay.
So there'll be obsolete careers. So if we look, let's start from good before we go to ugly and bad. So if we look at the budding careers, there are careers right now that are in its budding stage. And these are the careers to do with, I think, the blockchain spectrum and the blockchain industry, for example. The guys who are able now to be developers in the blockchain scene, people who want to form their companies on the blockchain, people who are thinking of coming up with their own technologies built on the blockchain. So these are budding careers. And let me explain why they are budding. A lot of blockchain stuff and blockchain manenos that we are talking about, or we were talking about previously in previous years, we thought were going to happen in 5 years.
That's true.
Now, what has happened with this COVID-19 situation is that a lot of things have been fast-tracked and brought closer. So now the blockchain conversation is becoming a reality because of now the scale of economies going down. So the scale of economies going down now, people are starting to think about digital currencies and alternative currencies that we can be using, either security or utility tokens, for us to be able to now transact with them and trade with them. Those are the conversations that we're having right now. So in the financial scene, we can see through blockchain, we can see the cryptocurrency market. In the developer world scene, in terms of information systems, we can look at now people who are looking at the blockchain scene and using Python languages and stuff like that to be able to make solutions on these platforms. So those are the budding careers that are coming up at the moment, right? The ones that are blossoming and are about to blossom and going to be huge are now the following. First of all, YouTubers, content creators, and especially to do in the African market. In the West, it's been happening, but I think it's about to go on a bigger scale, because now we're about to see movie makers, filmmakers put movies on YouTube Premium, so that they can be able to get now, more revenue in regards to their movies. We're about to see a lot more content creators coming out of Africa right now. For example, us guys, we just started this channel for Bawa. So a lot of more people like yourselves, SMEs, are about to start looking at other channels to market and generate leads and rope these leads and convert them through these platforms that are on the social media scene. So YouTubers are about to rake in a lot of money at this point in time, because now people will want, even advertisers will not be able to do big budget TVCs and commercials, because now you can't put people in a room, but you can take a brief, you can take a script, and you can be able to send it to a content creator in their living room, and they'll be able to generate and execute that content, because already they do it in their living room. So it will make sense for you who's in that industry to do that. If these are now advertising agencies, companies who can directly talk to influencers and the likes, and the likes like that. The other one that's about also to boom is now the gaming scene. Hey guys, you've been watching that 13-year-old and 16-year-old playing games on your mobile device, on that PlayStation, Xbox, on that PC, and you think they don't have anything to do.
They're wasting time.
Hey, broski, sistansky. Hey, that is a booming industry. And let me explain. Right now, for example, last year, my nephew, who's now going to turn 12, showed me a story of a 14-15-year-old boy who won $5 million last year. I think it was in September, from a Fortnite challenge. You who doesn't know Fortnite, Google it right now, you'll be able to know it. It's a game that trended in the whole world. $5 million. Have you ever held $5 million? From your time of study to work?
I would.
Have you held $5 million? So exactly my point, $5 million. And there are many instances and occurrences that are happening like this. Gamers are earning so much revenue from their platforms like Twitch, YouTube gaming, Facebook gaming, from live streaming, because people are watching their content and they're monetizing big. The esports industry is becoming big. I sent Kenji an article, and our boy Kevo an article about F1, where there was this esport F1 gamer who's now 19. Then he was, I think, 16, and the guy won the esports F1 gaming, right? And the guy right now has been employed, I think, either by the junior team for Renault or McLaren, I can't remember, to be their junior driver. Right? Yeah, F1 is not happening, but guys, the point here is, he was an esports gamer. He's now becoming reality higher. Now, to show you guys, this is the last one. So this is the last one. I just want to show you. I sent this thing to Kina Kenji. I read this article sometime this week, and this is what this on the Wall Street Journal, and this is what it's titled. Spain's La Liga soccer division goes virtual amid coronavirus. And the story goes, I'll just take a snippet. The league recently teamed up with internet celebrity Ibai Llanos for a live-streamed video game tournament where players from the La Liga teams, including Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, battled it out on EA, which is Electronic Arts Inc.'s FIFA 20, the tournament. FIFA 20, the tournament which ran last weekend on media including streaming channel Twitch, attracted more than 1 million viewers.
1 million viewers.
That was last week. This is what they're doing this week. This week, La Liga is organizing a virtual festival that includes performances from some of the country's top artists as well as football stars taking part from their homes. It will be broadcast on media including La Liga's TV channel. Guys, this is La Liga. This is equivalent to the Premier League in the UK. La Liga have seen that they need to still engage their fans and their enthusiasts in a real-time virtual experience. So this is now using they're about to go now into augmented reality and virtual reality space. So this also is another kind of industry that has been budding, but now is about to blossom, because now people who are in the eventing space, and this goes for everyone in the eventing space, people who you needed physical people to come pay for a ticket to enter your eventing space and watch something, are now looking at other alternative ventures to be able to reel in their fans and their enthusiasts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is happening in the world. You need to be asking yourself very good questions like, what am I about to do in terms of innovation so that I can reel in also my clients and my customers. Higher, third segment is the obsolete kind of careers. Kenji!
But before even we go obsolete, even just talking about esports and just how even the sporting world is really innovating and changing, and it's been aided by new technologies in augmented reality and virtual reality. We thought those things were a bit far-fetched. We see what Facebook is doing with Oculus, and they're like, it's like something that they're just tinkering with. But let me tell you, yes, Spark AR. Now, right now, even our team members are learning Spark AR. What am I trying to say? You can't be a designer seated there just doing Photoshop, Illustrator. You can't. Now you need to start tinkering with this new AI softwares like Spark AR and some of all those, I don't know, it's a huge array. And remember, your employer will also see that you're adding more value, and at the end of the day, you're able to negotiate even for a better rate or even a salary or a bonus or etc. So what we're trying to say is, really, jobs are not all going obsolete, but there has to be a trade of value. Now, some of these jobs that are going obsolete, and I'll start first with businesses that are not innovating and trying to get their service to an on-demand economy. You are at threat. And what do I mean on-demand? Right now, we want things
now.
We want things instantly. We want them now.
Yesterday.
If you are going to send me something or give me a service after 24 hours, I don't need you. I need something that will sort me out right now. So you have to look at your business, whether you're in legal, insurance, accounting, all those the fields that we have always been held at high esteem. Those particular fields need to innovate and create value in terms of quickening the process, bringing convenience to the consumer, and also credibility or security to the consumer. You have to earn their trust. And how do you earn their trust? One, you guys have been gifted with something called knowledge. That's what you guys are trading. You go and get all those degrees to trade knowledge. And sometimes it will look obscene to come and share all your trade secrets here in public, doing content about what you guys should do maybe during this corona. But let me tell you one thing. Offer value for free. Actually, it's a kingdom principle, and it will come back 20-fold. And this is what I'm trying to say. Seed. The lifeblood of digital is content, just the way the lifeblood of a business is cash flow. If you don't look at your cash flows, your financial statements are going to suffer. It's the same thing for digital. You can't switch on if you have zero content. And for you as a knowledge bearer, and that means you are that accountant, and I repeat, legal practitioner, HR practitioner, you need to give us value through content and give it for free. In that, you'll be able to see people convert in the near future, because what you're doing, you are positioning yourself as an authority in that space. So that is the first step to digitize before your business goes redundant, so to speak.
And maybe to show an example, for example, we had a client. I want to show you guys practical. I just don't want this to be theory for you guys. And now we are looking at outward. How do you get yourself out there for people to be able to see who you are and come in? So we had a client called Goshen Acquisitions. Goshen Acquisitions deals with land. They acquire land, they buy land, and they sell land that is theirs. So the CEO is called Solomon Wangwe. And so when they came to us, they were like, yo, we'd like to try different avenues of marketing so that then we're not spending too much on billboards, on TVCs, on trying to get high expensive influencers. So one of the things that we came up with was now what he is calling thought leadership. And thought leadership is where you get the knowledge and you give it out for free. So if you go to Goshen's pages right now, YouTube, even if you just go to YouTube right now, search engine optimization 101 is content.
Right.
You can do two ways. You can pay for the AdWords, or you can use content. So if you just search right now, land in Kenya, buying land in Kenya, he will pop up. And what he did is he was able to become a thought leader. And what happened is now he grew trust. He became an authority. There's emotional connection. And one of his biggest clients is a diaspora network circle.
But it's not even a local market.
Not even local market.
Right.
These are guys who are out there because they need a lot of trust. They've been conned so much in regards to even with relatives. They give a relative 1.8 million, go buy me land. The guy goes and shows them a kichaka forest, and then says that's the land. When they come to see it, no land, no money. No money. Like that Airtel ad. That is how it will look like. That con man. So that's what has happened to a lot of guys who are buying land.
Yep.
So right now, Goshen Acquisitions, 80% of their clientele is diaspora. Why? Because he's not even had to travel out of the country. He's used and innovated using the digital platforms that are available to him, for him to be able and for them to be able as Goshen Acquisitions to sell land to people outside the country. He has received excellence awards from even reputable UK companies.
Wow.
He has been able to be vetted even by people who want to finance his business from people in Europe, just from having a position on the digital platforms.
And that's crazy, because now we know what we're seeing is actually what digital platforms are able to do is, one, they're offering your service or your product on a global scale. So here we're very used to competing next door to your local competitor is the guy next door.
M-Pesa phenomenal.
No, that has to stop. In fact, it's not has to stop. The disruption is coming to
stop
get
it.
you out of your comfort zone so that you can compete on a global scale. And I mean, like, if you are even as a designer, there's or a developer, there are apps like Upwork that you can put your profile, you put your resume, your skill set. Now anyone from across the world can see what you've been able to achieve, and you can get business globally. There's stuff like Fiverr. Many guys have heard about it, where you can also have your portfolio and people start to contract you or hire you for services that are not in your geographical area. Now you see, things like COVID have no jurisdiction over you. They have no control over your work, because you can be at home, enjoy the comfort of your house, and still deliver on your services. So this is a different mindset. It's a different hat we have to wear. We have to digitally switch on. Let's talk about in terms of industries. There's so many industries that I'm seeing, if we're so used to, you see this physical contact, one-on-one, and we're seeing them being disrupted, like events. Right now, events have dipped because they've banned mass gatherings. We have curfews. I mean, those guys used to thrive in clubs. So a moment of silence for you
guys.
But remember, also
take the club experience.
Also, exactly. This period will end. So we're not also staying hopeful. But what are we learning during this season that you can innovate and carry it all forward for a sustainable model. So let's talk about some industries.
I mean, when you look at the industries, for example, eventing, like you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
So eventing industry, I feel like your innovation is going to give you a new product line. Like in the previous point that you just made, for example, like La Liga.
Yeah.
La Liga is going to create now a different kind of experience. And from doing is when you learn what kind of experiences to make.
Right.
So basically, each and every industry has to bring in an experience on the digital platform.
Yeah.
So it's not just coming to sell your product. You have to come and bring experience. Again, I say this because majority of us are laggards to this platform. So what happened is they've become consumer centric because consumers were fast.
Yeah.
Brands now have followed. You get? And this now is a consumer ran platform. And consumers are looking for experience. They don't really care about your brand. They don't really care. Unfortunately, I know you've spent so much money on your brand book and building your brand, but they don't care about your brand. They want to see what value you're bringing. So here it's all about the experiences you bring. How are you going to leverage on virtual experiences? Shout out to Noel Derito, who had a musical concert yesterday on IG Live. Bruh, that's the way to go, Bana.
Repeat that, Joji. They're going to focus on...
So it's focusing on creating experiences. So for example, Noel, the person I've just mentioned is an artist, he's a Kenyan artist, very good, very nice, got a very good music. Atatoa nyoka pangoni will remove the snake from the hole. Now, what happened with Noel is he was supposed to have a gig, an event yesterday, a physical event. But because of the lockdown, the curfews and everything that has happened, he innovated and created a virtual space where it was a free gig for now. I say that again. Rewind, selector, come again. What he did is he created a free gig on IG Live, Instagram Live, and it is free for now. The reason why I say for now is because from Noel doing that gig, he's understood and now he's learned because he's a practitioner. He's like, if he can do maybe 3 more free gigs and give value, if he starts telling people, even if it's not paying, if he starts telling people, hey, for you guys to support me, please, give towards, go fund me, go give towards this project that I'm doing, blah blah blah, that will become another revenue stream for him. So what I'm talking about for event people, just like La Liga did, just like Noel did, you need to start being practitioners on the virtual space, creating experiences for people on the virtual space so that you can be able to learn, oh, that's what people want, that's the experience they want. You start reeling in influencers to come and now help you with your experience. That becomes a different kind of a revenue model that you start bringing in, because once people are able to have a great experience, they are emotionally connected to you. Because if you harness the power of entertainment, which is making people feel something emotional, either cry, laugh, feel woozy, feel lovey-dovey, feel something towards you, then people are now connected to you emotionally, and majority of people, their purchasing decisions are made by emotions rather than mental, guys. So that's something to really take into consideration.
Absolutely. I cannot overstate that, because guys, it's not just uploading content and that's it. It's actually giving people a full experience. And if you look at it, even post or pre-digital, when I come to get a service from you, the differentiator is how you make me feel. We could have the same product, but if you make me feel a certain way, I'll definitely subscribe to whatever you're offering, and I'll be a loyal customer. And not even loyal, I will go and advocate for your brand or your product. So you become an ambassador. So we have to be creative on how we just don't bring them into our fold, but how do we create them as ambassadors? Because that is the trade secret for digital. Building a community that is able to hold you down, even during COVID times and hard times, through season times, so that you can stay afloat as a business. And in trade, it is just all about value. Let me move to education. Education is such an I'm actually one of those parents who pay for education, and I believe in good education. I believe you just don't sprout, you must.
I'm the opposite.
You must work your way through an education. But I'm having a change of mind and heart, and this is because I have seen what digital platforms are able to offer. Now, we take our children to school, and I take them to we try and blow our bank to make sure they get premium education. But now they come back, they're just somehow still the same. Like I don't call them brats or rugrats, but man, we can spend so much on quality education, quote unquote, but the return is not the same. Why am I moving to education? This industry is being disrupted. Education is actually practical knowledge. It's not about retention of knowledge. It's about what are you learning and how are you applying it. Now I've come to notice that now for my child is more creative than she's analytical. So she does not like being tied up in spaces that can limit her creativity. But now I've set her in an environment where she's on lockdown for a particular amount of time so that she can retain that information. It's important for a stage and a time. But this is what I'm trying to allude to. Digital platforms have come up with different packages, different technologies to make sure that your child has an experience in terms of learning. There's even Blooms, which is an application where homeschoolers are using to make sure they get material. It's a teacher, parent school ecosystem. And so they use the materials through videos, and now even virtual reality footage is coming through, so that they have hands-on in learning how this thing works. So when we used to learn, A is for apple. Me had never seen an apple before. Now, and that was then, you just know my age. But now, a child would learn about, let's say, what is far-fetched? Let me say, Tasmanian devil. Only found in Australia, but they can wear VR goggles and actually look at a Tasmanian devil and actually maybe even stroke its fur, look at its size virtually. What is that doing? It is shaping their world view. But what do we want to do? Still put them in a class and look at a textbook and tell them cram, because you have to pass our system, our exam, so that you can go into a good school. So I'm also learning. As I'm telling you, I'm also having a change of heart.
So this is a conversation we've had with Kenji for a very long period of time. Now what COVID has done is it has put you and your child in the same house for you to be able now to teach them on basically what we call education. Now for a very long period of time, schools have banked on information as the commodity for them to be able to be in business. So right now, or back then, information was found in books, magazines, and that's why you needed a library for you to check into a library and know what's Archimedes' principle. For you to be able to know what Archimedes' principle is, it's as simple as doing a voice command on your mobile device or device right now, and Google fetching it for you if you're on Android, or Siri fetching it for you if you're on Apple, iOS, for example. Now, information is no longer a commodity, because information is far much more on the internet space than it is in a singular book or a series of books.
Or even a class.
Exactly. So what is now happening is there's a lot of packaging of information through different pieces of content. That can be images, can be text, can be videos, can be audio, podcasts, that now people are able to learn and be able to be educated and passed information. So as Kenji was saying, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is what is power. And so therefore right now, what we've been forced into, especially in Kenya, because I can say, I think the high-end schools are the ones maybe who had nailed this. For example, like Brookhouse, they already had an e-learning platform, and so kids could be able to learn from wherever they were in the country or in the world. So if they took a vacation, they can still be able to do their holiday homework virtually from a virtual platform. And so now what we have been forced into, and I'm very sensitive in regards to this, because also I'm sensitive to the guys in the mashinani and also guys who are in low-level income houses. But still, I believe solutions can be found for them, because they can be able to also just have a Mulika Mwizi, and we can use USSD to be able to pass on educative information to them so that they can pass it on to their kids. So anyway, for me, what I'm just trying to say here is COVID-19 has forced us and pressed us towards a wall for us to have this conversation, where schools were banking on information and and the education system for them to be able to make money or even pass information and education. But there are other forms and other ways that we can be able to do that, and that is learning management systems. And there are quite a few, Kenji. I don't know if you can be able to read.
Actually, I wanted you to touch on Kitabu.
Yeah.
Let's just big up Tone
Ndongo.
This guy had seen the future.
Yep.
So even when you're talking about mashinani guys, or just the common mwananchi who can't afford what we're talking about, we have to also consider those guys. Right now, Kitabu is an online forum where you're able to get the full curriculum on soft copy, all resources, and it can give you from course texts to those on past papers, revision papers, all those things that CBC system needs,
and all in text, video, and audio,
different formats of content. Just and what I like about it is, first, it's interactive. It saves you the cost of buying those books, man. They're expensive, man. We keep spending money on buying textbooks. Remember us, we used to hand them down. Now we have digital platforms. Can we just utilize them? So I mean, this is an appeal to the Kenyan government.
Kenyan government.
Tunataka kuona vitabu za silabasi zimeuploadiwa on digital platforms, so that Did you please, man, can I make my So this is an appeal to the Kenyan government. We're requesting, could we have all those hard copy course texts be translated and put on digital platforms and given to as many kids as possible? I know it was part of your vision, hamjatekeleza, but it is still a very great vision, given now that we actually in that circumstance where people are actually looking for that material. You're seeing what it would have done for this kind of time. So let's move on to another industry. Let's talk agriculture. Wait, utatoa Hey, kuna mali niko na feel na shout. Go on the face. You ghost.
Like a rap video.
So let's move on to another industry. Let's talk agriculture. Hey, my farmers.
So this is another industry where now we'll see the farmers themselves getting into technology as well, just trying to see how they can be able to use drones. We're seeing a lot of technology coming up. So it was budding, but now it will blossom. And now we'll see a lot of funding coming through, and non-governmental organizations and non-profit organizations coming through with these technologies, you know, in order to enable the farmer. Because what will happen with this COVID-19 is that a lot of stuff will be affected. So that's the food industry in regards to the economy. So when you look at the food industry in itself, we really rely heavily on the farmer, and it's the subsistence farmer who comes up with potatoes, tomatoes, the everyday food items that we need. So we'll see a lot of organizations. I see a lot of organizations coming up with these technologies, the drones, coming up with these technologies to be able to enable them through data to come up with better produce. You get? So it will be a lot of big data-driven kind of technologies and digital platforms that will be made for the farmer. Now, from farm, let's move to plate. Okay? And this is where I'll use a hashtag in a wise manner. Hashtag cut out the middleman. We're seeing a lot of markets being shut down, guys, and this is needed because of the hygiene in regards to when it comes to markets. We'll see less vendors in markets because of also the self-isolation and self-distancing, and so this is going to affect a lot of people. I'm very sensitive to that fact, but this will help us now innovate. For example, there is this company called Fresh Pro Farms. Fresh Pro Farms, I believe they are just they are able to take the produce from the farm, different farmers, and bring it to our plate through a delivery system. They have an app that you can order different products. Their UX UI is to die for. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Like, it's beautiful. The kind of images that they've used. Shout out to you, Chebet, know you from youth church back in the day. So what they've really been able to do is to be able to help us who cannot be able to go to the market right now, or even before because of time or just bringing convenience and trust, but you are able to shop through the app or web application or mobile app, and you are able now to make payments for your orders, and they were able to deliver. Now, here's the other thing about even trust and bringing just different kind of service to people. Their delivery guy, you guy, my guy.
Yes.
Hey. Well articulated, talks very well, service impeccable, handles food very well, is well dressed, clean. The kind of structure they have on their bike that is handling my food, and they deliver it with a basket. Like, it was crazy. And for me, now these are the kind of solutions that now will be done in regards to the food and farming agribusiness market, and especially looking at it from the end of the plate side, which is us as consumers. So I see a lot of innovation in that regard. I see a lot of people now starting to use the informal e-commerce platform, which for a long time was WhatsApp, which is WhatsApp. And so we're seeing a lot of guys coming into that platform now and informally using WhatsApp groups, using estate groups, chamas, coming in and now starting selling produce. So even you who has a side hustle, kashamba in your shags, you'll have to chomoka at 5 a.m. when curfew starts, you go get your produce, then come back, and through WhatsApp in your estate group start selling your produce. And I see that's the kind of innovation we will have. Like I've said, hashtag cut out the middleman, but it's also going to normalize and put us back to square one for us to be able to develop new ways and innovative ways for us to bring food to people's plates.
Absolutely, and that's basically what he's talking about, is farm to plate. And Twiga Foods have actually perfected this. It's just that the model is a B2B, where they're actually getting produce from the farm, but they're actually servicing the vendor. Then the consumer goes to the particular shop or the retail outlet to get that produce, which is, the quality is good, it's clean, and it's actually worth it in terms of price. It's quite affordable. But now we're looking at different models that can actually create B2C. So you as the business of the farmer, how do you get your produce to the consumer directly without having to use those markets? And I think for the interest of time, we might not go into the details of it, but there's so much you can do. And right now, as George said, what's up? It's happening.
What's up, guys?
It's really happening. So guys, let's talk about retail sector. So this is a huge sector. I mean, our economy is pegged on the retail sector. If you look at what runs cash flow in our economy, one is Pare Pare Nyamakima, Moranga Mafia, we see you. Also also Isili, and all those, let me say, informal markets, Kina, Marikiti, Gikomba, those are the markets that drive our economy. And how, now with this COVID story, I mean, I can only imagine how they're trading, because some of them, of course, lazima waende kazi because they have to fend for their family, and those are people who actually earn wages. But now, looking forward, how are we going to curb this kind of crisis in the retail sector? You guys know very well that developed countries have already come up with e-commerce solutions, and Amazon, for all those who know Amazon, is the perfect example. It's the biggest online retail marketplace. I mean, what can you get on Amazon? And if you look at the model, it's very different from eBay. So eBay is more of C2C, customer to customer. If I'm selling or flogging something, I can sell it to the market and someone buys. But with Amazon, it's a B2C, where everything that goes through Amazon as a website or a marketplace is actually vetted or verified, or there's quality control. Yeah. So how we, George, let's talk about how can we create systems to leverage on digital systems to leverage on our informal markets or retail markets here.
So first of all, I have to say, I think it's already being done. It may not be in a large scale, but there are a few different let me say, e-commerce kind of businesses that have been set up. First off, hats off to Copia Kenya. Copia have been able now to serve mashinani markets where people have so much coming to the city to be able to get their goods and their wares. This is from electronics to household items like basins, buckets, farming items, vitu za agrovet. Yeah, so people were always checking into a bus or a matatu and then coming to the city, buying, putting it back on the bus and matatu and taking it. So Copia has been able to formulate a great model where now through either USSD or if you have capabilities, you can check onto their app, web app and mobile app, and you can be able to order those items, and then they'll be able to, you pay for them and then they'll be able to send them to you or to send to your agent. So even if you can't do USSD or the app, there's an agent right there in the mashinani areas, and we saw one agent, remember that they went to Nyeri.
Nyeri.
So in Nyeri, so we went to Nyeri and we were able to see an agent. So you go to the agent and you make your applications, the agent sends the list, and then the stuff is brought to the agent and you collect them there. So big up to people like Copy. And hey guys, the people you're mentioning here, they've not paid us. we are just
these are our thoughts.
We're just giving guys things that are happening, and we're trying to help each other here. So you can comment down in the comment section if there are more people that you know, aside the ones that we've already mentioned. The other guys that we can see who are really coming hard is Jumia. So let me say about Jumia. There's the Jumia food, and then there's the normal Jumia, which is electronics and many other household items. You can even shop in Carrefour through Jumia. I believe Jumia have been able now to listen down to the Mwananchi, and they've come up even with Jumia food. They have Bawa, and these are meals from as little as 120 bob all the way to 250 bob, and all you pay for is probably a small fee for delivery. Imagine that, because now in this period it will work well, especially for people who are bachelors, guys who maybe work in construction zones. You're a junior engineer or whatever it is, and you can't be able to carry food every day. You're able now to order such kind of food and it's delivered to you wherever you are. And this is now in the pre-approved areas that Jumia has done, but it's already a start, and big up to them for starting it pre-COVID coronavirus, BC, before coronavirus. And so that's a huge thing I've seen that is happening in the retail space. So Jumia, there's also Glovo who came in with bam! They came sometime, I think, was it last year or the year before, and they've been able to rise up. We're seeing a lot of riders coming through Safe Boda in terms of transport, and they have entered the space in regards to now bringing you trust and convenience. We're seeing Uber Duthi. We are seeing Bolt Duthi. We are seeing all these people coming up with ways that, and this is from listening and doing their research to the consumer, because now we are a very heavy market relying on do this each and every time, but you want security in regards to that Duthi. You don't want to go with a Duthi and they rob you. So you want security, you want to be able to be tracked, so that comes with the security, and you also want convenience. You don't want to call your Nduthi guy, and your Nduthi guy is in airport and then he's telling you Niko hapo tu. Hey, you want to be able to go onto an app and do the same. So if I look at the retail space in that regard, even looking at supermarket chain stores, people like Carrefour enabling their business onto the Jumia platform. We had seen Chandarana had already started this. Food Plus had already started this way before, years back, where you could be able to order online and they deliver to you. We've seen also Naivas had already started this way back. Taskies teamed up with Sandy for you to be able to make also your shopping, and then they put it on the Duthis or on the delivery trucks, and it's brought to your home. So we are seeing a lot of changes happening in the retail space, and this goes out to show you the kind of innovations that can be made. This is stuff that we've talked about before, but because of COVID, now it has been fast-tracked and brought forward. And this will affect malls. I've always said that it will affect shopping complexes, because if you've not innovated, it's not wrong for you to have a shop, but you need to innovate. You need to innovate in a sense that someone can be able to holler at you either through text or a call, or can go through a catalog somewhere. Hey, I'm reeling in something here real sweet, and can be able to go through a catalog somewhere, shop, pay for their products, and you can deliver them to wherever they are, bringing convenience. So therefore, in terms of your operations, you'll start thinking and being like, do I really need a shop? Do I need a shop, a physical shop, for me to be able to do business? And so we need to be able to start rethinking these things in the retail space.
Absolutely. And when I'm hearing what George is talking about, logistics seem like such a big part in retail and in the e-commerce model. I mean, for those already in tech, I'll tell you, it's a headache of the e-commerce, but that's where the money is. Now, how do small businesses benefit? Because I can hear it's more about marketplace, but don't worry. As a small business owner, you're just a person who sells maybe hair bands or cosmetic items, or maybe just your fashion items from the house. You're the one who's winning. Let me tell you why. Because already you're seeing what's happening with retail space and office space and mall space. These things they're only becoming emptier by the day. Now for you don't need huge spaces. You can even operate from your bedroom and even have a warehouse somewhere if you have quite a load of
consignment.
Yes, consignment, yes, or goods. But look at it this way. If you're a small business, you can use WhatsApp Business. And why I'm saying WhatsApp, because WhatsApp
Is WhatsApp?
it's WhatsApp, you guys. I mean, the guys who are trading using websites, yes, it's good. But look, we already have some dominant players there. You as a small player, you can really scale yourself by first creating a catalog for yourself. If you don't know how catalogs work, please Google WhatsApp catalogs and set yourself up on those catalogs.
Or you can check out a video that we'll do on a later date.
Absolutely. So then you can have your goods on WhatsApp catalog and share with your groups, because a lot of let me say communication is happening in our groups, in WhatsApp groups. So please take advantage of WhatsApp catalogs for you small, medium enterprises. Now for you large corporates, I can tell you, I think you've tapped into capitalism, because I've seen Nairobi has quickly switched to a consumer economy where now we are embracing Nike, Adidas, KFC, all those brands we used to see in the West. Now I'll be very brutal with this. People really don't care where they go and shop. The question is, are you going to deliver a quality item? So I love Nikes. I know an original Nike shoe. It doesn't matter if it came from Gikomba downtown or it came from that mall, the hub in Karen. All I want is the good, and that's what the consumer cares about. So we are opening very fancy, swanky retail stores, but the footfall is low. So I really encourage, for all those who want to go big on capitalist brand, please consider creating an e-commerce model that can reach your target audience with quick, easy, convenient. That's the model for you. Yeah.
And so for us guys, those are basically our thoughts in regards to the different industries, what's happening in the digital sphere for you as an SME. And for us, if you are in the retail space, if you are in a product line or service line, and you can be able to leverage on the e-commerce platform, instead of you going to make a whole website with a database with all, and then trying to bring people to that foot traffic, if you already have a system that's working for you, well and good, but you can be able to rope in a great product. Right. We have a great product called SendBee, which is built on the WhatsApp Business API, and you can check out the demo in the link below on how it works and how its functionality is. It can be able to revolutionize your customer acquisition and your customer retention, where you can be able to create different tribes and communities in regards to your customers and how you know your customers well. You can be able to generate
teams.
You can be able to you can work as teams. You can be able to even to generate bot messages, so that you don't have to employ different people to manage those communities for you, but a bot will be able now to manage that for you. So guys, there are solutions out here. We have the solutions. We have a solution called SendBee. Hit us up, write to us in the DM. You can be able to comment down there if you have any kind of information to give us, or you want to contribute to this conversation. Feel free to do so. Feel free to share this video, subscribe to our platforms, and as we always say, what's up is what's up. Till later, guys.